Hey, how are you everybody? It's Lisa F. Miller here and I'm on the road. Yesterday a friend reached out, sorry that's why I haven't put up a post to say I'm going live till now. A friend reached out and said, do you want to do a roadie up to another friend who lives about 7 or 8 hours away? But we're breaking a trip in a place called Orewa, just north of Auckland. And we're staying in a cabin tonight. Then we're staying with our friend up in somewhere called Tutakaka Coast. If you're not a Kiwi, beautiful part of New Zealand. So yeah, pretty exciting. That's what I love about my life right now, is the way I've set it up is I can work online and I can just take off and work from anywhere. My son was staying with his dad anyway. So that's what I wanted to talk about. And I know I've talked about this before, but the joy of being. Just being and creating out of that space. Now, I know I said this a few weeks ago with the Japanese have something where Ikigai, I think that's how it's pronounced, where you choose what you love to do, but also what you're good at and what brings you money. So it brings you joy, what you're good at and brings you money. And then you have a peace and an ease with work, whether it's a business, a job, whatever that looks like for you, whether it's being a mum at home, it doesn't matter, self-employed, it really doesn't matter. Well, I've certainly got that. I've created something for myself where I have ease, I have peace, and I have joy. Now, things aren't perfect for sure, but I have this ease and this joy of being. And I call it my job, my joy of being. So if you have a joy of being, that's actually your job on this planet, is to be. We're a human being, not a human doing. And lots of people are actually not being, they're doing their job. So they're doing it because it brings in the money. And I'm not saying lots, but some people, they're doing it because, they have to pay the bills. They're doing it because if I do it for another 5 years, I'll have my house paid off. But do they have a joy of being? What do I mean by that again? Being able to be you, doing something you love, that you're good at, and it will bring you money or what you require, the resources you require. Now, for me, being is just being able to be present, to be in the moment, to be joyful and peaceful and calm, and know that something is right for you. That's the beingness behind it. So the joy of being is having a job or career where those things are happening. When you do it, you're in the joy of it, you're in the present moment, you're not judging where you are, you love where you are. You know you can do it too. There's a deep, deep knowing, not a belief. Belief just comes from a subconscious pattern. But I mean a true knowing, a really deep, deep knowing. And you can create, and you can create money with it too. So that's what I urge you to reach out for. I urge you to pivot towards a job, a job, that has the joy of being, where you don't mind getting up in the morning and doing it. You don't mind booking something online because you have to for your work. You don't mind doing the tech stuff or whatever that is required because you enjoy what you're doing. Now, I've had a big 1.5 years of setting up a lot of tech. I've done 6 or 7 different websites. I've done 2 membership sites. I'm still making funnels. I'm still learning how they work. I really have no idea how they work, but I'm learning and I'm making them. I've just created a course. I'm about to create a monthly Zoom, and I'm about to do a daily quest where you get to choose, where I pick a card out and not like tarot cards, but different. More of an elevated emotion that you choose to be that day. So I'm still creating. Things aren't perfect, but I love what I do. And it's not about perfection, is it? I love it because I have that joy of being when I'm in it. It's not a force and it's not a push. Yeah, I can get tired of the tech stuff sometimes. I can get tired of that stuff, but it's not that it's not that I hate it and I don't get anything out of it. And I know I need to do it to get the joyful stuff, the really joyful stuff to come in, so I can get people to work with me one-on-one or in a group or in a journaling course or whatever that looks like. So joy of being, do you have it? And how do you get it? I would say a lot of people on this planet don't. And I was talking on one of my posts yesterday, I said that my father was worked as a butcher in a freezing works. And he hated it. He had to cut up dead animals. And my dad was incredibly bright, like really well read, like a historian. He should have been could have been at uni, and he could have been a history teacher or an English lecturer or something like that. So he's well read. He knew so much stuff about politics, music, all sorts of things. You couldn't beat him in a game like Trivial Pursuits. You could have an argument with him about politics or something, but invariably he would win because he had a lot of knowledge. But did he have a joy of being in his work? No. And my dad was very low and depressive at times, and not a happy dad at times, or a happy person. And I know that impacted his parenting. And I'm not judging my dad. I loved my dad. But that's what was going on for him. And in those days, the conditioning and programming was, you stay in a job for 30, 40 years whether you like it or not. And you do it and you pay your bills. And I'm saying, let's turn that on our head. Yes, we have to be responsible for our bills. Yes, you have to somehow create the money. But what if when you step into the joy of being, the money comes with it? Because that's what I've noticed. When I'm being me, like today, I'm in the van with my friend. She's driving. Someone bought my journaling course and something extra. Now, I wasn't doing anything. Last Friday, I had money come into my account. I was doing nothing because I was being me. I was relaxing. I was enjoying my day. I wasn't worried about money. I wasn't trying to force it to come in. I wasn't worried about clients. I wasn't stressing. I wasn't thinking, gosh, I've got to get more money in. And it came in, okay? And this is what you'll notice when we're relaxed and calm and being, and in a present moment, money is more likely to come anyway. Joy is there. Fun is there. People turn up on your doorstep to pop in to say hi when you're in that way of being, that space. And we're creating what's coming to us. So when you're more joyful and just being in the moment and having fun, things show up. And you'll notice that. You'll be like, oh, well, I was really lucky, or, oh my goodness, that was serendipity. But you've actually created it by who you're being. So if you can find something that takes you into that being space and there's joy and ease, the money will be there. As long as you're congruent with what you are doing. If you hate it, but you have ease doing it, like you find it easy but you hate it, then that's not necessarily the case. That's not a joy of being. If you don't have ease with it, but it brings in money, then that's not the joy of being either. So the joy of being, that job that's the joy of being, will bring you the money, the ease, and the joy, and the fun, and the lightness. And that's what I now have with me. And I've spent 2 years nearly creating this. And I'm at the beginning still. Every time I think, wow, I've got on top of that, there's something else to get on top of. And that's okay, because I'm committed to reaching 1 million people and getting them out of grief, shame, blame, guilt, out of their old thinking patterns, and creating, which cause all that, out of all of that, and stepping into their deepest knowing and their deepest self-gratitude and self-nurturing. So that's what I'm committed to. So I'll keep going with this as long as it is my job, my job. It brings me a joy of being. And when it doesn't, I will leave it. And I'm willing to do that. I will give up something that seems amazing now to have a joy of being. Are you willing to do that? So have a look. The first thing probably to do is just ask yourself some questions. And just be like, am I really enjoying what I'm doing? Do I have those 3 things Lisa was talking about? Do I have ease with it? Do I find it really, really easy? Now, there's many things we find easy that I could do for work, but I'm not enjoying them, so I wouldn't do them. Yeah, if I had to, I would, but you know what I'm saying. So, do I enjoy it? Am I finding this easy as well? Do I find this easy, what I'm doing? Or is this feeling like I'm pushing shit uphill? Excuse my French. Is this easy for me? Do I feel like I've got an amazing purpose and it brings me joy in that way? And is it financially contributing to me? Can you answer those 3 things? Now, some of those things, like for me, the third one, there's more capacity with the financial because it's early stages. I've only been online nearly a year. That's not very long. But I know I still have a joy of being, and I create money in the most amazing ways because I am being peaceful, calm, fun, ease, self-gratitude, and self-nurturing. So I'm just going to move rooms. Hi, girls. You're right. I'm just going to move rooms here. The girls have just turned out back from their walk. Oh,
I'll just get my charger out of the room.
Yeah, go for it. So...
Sorry.
No, you're right. This happens all the time. Yeah. Just shut the door behind you. It'd be great. Thank you. So, the joy of being is about asking yourself some questions, and you don't have to answer them straight away. Sorry about that. Am I enjoying it? Does it bring me ease? Is it easy for me to do? And with the enjoyment, for me, there's always that purpose why you're doing it, which for me is about other people. And is it bringing me money? Those were the three things I would ask, because you can have a joy of being, but you've still got to live. We've still got to live and earn money to create our lives. So those three things go together, don't they? So are you really willing to look at this? And you know what? There's going to be some uncomfy times if you look and ask those questions, because if you want to shift it, if you want to change it, you are going to have to go through some uncomfy stuff. 7 or 8 years ago, every area of my life, I moved, left my marriage, my job, everything changed, friendships, my children, how they were, everything changed overnight, and it was uncomfy for 1 to 2 years. But as I got further and further along that track and chose more for me and what worked for me, then it just got easier and easier and easier. So yes, if you truly want a joy of being on this planet, rather than being a human doing and pushing and forcing, you may have to go through some uncomfy stuff. You may have to leave a job. You may have to walk away from things that other people are like, why are you leaving that? Why are you leaving your business? Because I don't enjoy it anymore. And in this, we're told quite often that, it's about, success is about money, and success is about, is it doing well? Are you getting more clients or whatever? But if you don't have the other stuff, if you don't have that joy and ease, it's just like pushing uphill. So I encourage you to pivot away from what that is. And yeah, it might take 5 years. For me, it's taken 4 years from leaving my teaching career to find the thing that I found easy, is fun, and I know can bring me money. I know that deep down, even if it's not all here yet. I know it's coming. That took 4 years. Does that matter? If I'd stayed teaching and unhappy, then I'd still be unhappy there, and I wouldn't have that ease and that joy of being. So yeah, it might take time. It doesn't matter how much time it takes. It's about choosing and committing to another path and way to be on the planet. We're not trained in this. We're not trained to find those things. We're not trained to look for ease. We're trained to go for, we're conditioned to be like, oh, it was hard work, but I pushed and I did it. We're conditioned for success to be just about money a lot of the time. And we're conditioned that, it's hard to leave, and why would I do that, and blah, blah. When really, it's harder to stay. It's harder to stay in that job. It's harder to stay in that marriage. It's harder to stay in whatever that is than it is to go. Yes, you might go through some uncomfy stuff, but long term, it's harder. And I saw that with my dad. The depression, the lowness, the physical stuff going on, and he was gone by 69. And I'm sure some of it was that 30, 40 years of working in a job that he hated, or at least 35 years. That must impact the body and the brain and the stress. And he died quite young. So I'm sure that's part of it. You see people that are joyful, their health is better. It's been proven through science, gratitude and all that. And joy lowers your heart rate, changes your brain, changes things in your body. So is it time? Is it time to really go, do I have a joy of being in my life? Are the people and the things and the jobs and the things around me bringing me ease and joy? And if it's a job and you need money, or career, or self-employment, will it bring me the money too that I require? So really important questions to ask. And I jumped on this trip today because I knew it was going to bring me the joy of being. Straight away when she asked me, I just got this lightness, ease, fun, and I was like, I'm going, because I can work online. And that's why I do this work online, because it's easier for me and for my family too if we want to travel. So yeah, it was just like, yeah, I'm going, I'm done, I'm off, let's go. Packed my bags and we left this morning. And that is the freedom I have with this joy of being, and I really want that for you too. So if you're really wanting to get more into this stuff, come along to my Calm group. It's $10 a month, New Zealand dollars. So that's like, what, $7 American or something? $8 or $9 Australian. I'm just putting the link in here now. calmmyfarm.com. We look at tools. There's coaching, journaling, and there's meditation. So 5 meditations a week, 3 of them live, 3 live journaling sessions and 1 pre-recorded journaling session. We'll be going live at 6:30 in the morning, and the meditations and the journaling go together, so journaling's related back. And then invariably what comes out of that is someone asks a question, and then we go into some coaching. So how does it get better than that? $10 a month. I've got a journaling course, www.journaltojoycourse.com. It's 12 sessions, and that's 40 New Zealand dollars, which is like 25, 28 US, maybe 35 Australian, 38 Australian. So that's just an introduction to journaling. But journaling is such a powerful way to get self-awareness. When you journal and you just walk away from the journaling, or the meditations I do as well, which are quite different, awareness is just jump in. Your head's clearer, you're out of your subconscious pattern, and you go into a more conscious brain. So this awareness is just show up and you go, oh, I know what I need to do. And it's like you're solving your own problem without solving it. Because we're not a problem and we don't have problems. It's a possibility and a way to be in the world. And when you're being a certain way, those problems just seem like nothing. They just seem like, oh, well, it's a possibility. How does it get better? I wonder how this is going to contribute to me. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, love to see you. Or head to networknurture.info, and I've got a free 15-minute talk with me, a clarity session where you get to ask some questions and get some tools and get yourself on the way. And I also do one-on-one sessions too. So yeah, joy of being, asking and seeing and seeking it is just such an important thing to me now. I didn't realize that I was in such an old paradigm of thinking life had to be hard and it can't be easy and life had to be challenging. That's what I used to say. Oh, I like a challenge, life has to be challenging. No, even when I'm learning a new tech thing or something else, it's not a challenge. Challenge comes from the brain, like the force and the push, and it's hard. It's more of a, well, I haven't done this before. I wonder what this could contribute to me, which is a different way to look at it. So I don't create things now that are challenging and really, really hard. And yes, I do have stuff that comes up that's tricky, but I don't see it as a challenge now because that means I have to fix it and sort it, and it's like climbing a mountain. So what if you just shifted one paradigm and then your whole life changed? Because that's what happened for me. Love to see you all. I'm just going to put the link in for Network Nurture. Reach out. I have a blog. If you go to my Network Nurture page, you can find my blog, or you can go to blog.networknurture.info that I write every week. And I send out emails, newsletters too. So if you want to get a newsletter, just write below, send me and get on the newsletter list so you can get these tools. Love you guys. Thanks for coming, and I'll keep you in contact with what's going on here. Cheers.